Hey, it's Mike here, and today I want to talk about the Guggenheim debacle. Animal rights activists and just dog lovers in general have pressured the Guggenheim to withdraw a particular exhibit that contained a variety of animal exploitation. Most people are just talking about the dog exhibit, which we will get to in a split second, but I want to quickly look at the two other exhibits that were animal related. The first one was a case study of transference. Originally a live display, this was just going to be a video of two pigs, one with English symbols and one with Chinese symbols, having sex. Apparently this is a commentary on the West screwing over the East, but I think there are plenty of other ways to show that. And the second one was titled Theater of the World. It's a large cone-like display that you can look into and watch lizards eat hundreds of insects under a heat lamp. But now to the one that caused all of the ruckus, titled Dogs That Cannot Touch Each Other. It was 8 pit bulls that were paired off, put on sloped treadmills that are non-motorized, so they just keep running at each other, trying to fight, allegedly, until they become completely exhausted. So they are chained up, basically face to face, on treadmills, trying to get to each other, and they just can't. One of the creators, a Chinese artist, responded to the allegations that this was cruelty in an interview with, quote, "Were the dogs being abused? The answer should be no. These dogs are naturally pugnacious." Pugnacious means they have a natural tendency to want to fight. But is the aggressiveness of a certain animal a justification to abuse it? I mean, think about a lion. They're naturally more aggressive. That's not an excuse to whip them or anything. You can't appeal to an animal's nature and use that as a reason to hurt them. She then goes on to say that this display of animal abuse was really just sport for the dogs, much like the Olympics for humans. I wasn't aware that people in the Olympics wore chains. I'll look closer next time. Now to the next important point, the treatment of the dogs in this video fits the definition of animal abuse within the state of New York. The actual video was not filmed in New York, but looking at the state of New York's animal abuse laws, this would be considered overdriving an animal or forcing them into a state of exhaustion. A person who overdrives an animal, among other animal abuses, is guilty of breaking the law. Now, legally, this would be similar to showing how you participated in a slaughter at the Yunnan Dog Festival and then showing that footage in the US. The crime was not done in the US, but the Guggenheim is still supporting illegal treatment of dogs within their own state by showing this video. They definitely didn't remove the exhibit for that reason, so why did they remove the exhibit? This statement was what really motivated me to make this video because I found it most frustrating from the Guggenheim. Out of concern for the safety of its staff, visitors, and participating artists, the Guggenheim has decided against showing those 3 animal-related exhibits. Not out of concern for animals at all. No, it was to defend against those evil animal lovers. Yes, there were allegedly death threats, which were completely not necessary, but their compassion, completely non-existent. Next, quote, "Although these works have been exhibited in museums in Asia, Europe, and the United States, the Guggenheim regrets that explicit and repeated threats of violence have made our decision necessary." This comes off as like a petty attempt to get some pity, like, you let all these other museums get away with it, and then you target us, the innocent little Guggenheim. Googie googie. This next part, though, takes the cake. Quote, "As an arts institution committed to presenting a multiplicity of voices, we are dismayed that we must withhold works of art. Freedom of expression has always been and will remain a paramount value of the Guggenheim. Preventing animal cruelty, not so much." So we have to ask, at what length are we going to protect freedom of expression in art? A most extreme example, so what if a pedophile wants to show their child pornography as art in your gallery? The Guggenheim regretfully informs you all that we are being forced to remove Mr. Stevens gropes small child from our exhibit due to pressure from parents and people that don't care about art and expression. Jeez. Go goo-goo yourself. Just like how diet is no longer a personal choice when you are eating animals, when you have a victim, you shouldn't be allowed to freely express your abuse to an animal victim. And it doesn't matter what the message is animal abuse. But from the Guggenheim, quote, "Consider why the artists produced it and what they may be saying about the social conditions of globalization and the complex nature of the world we share." Okay, Guggenheim press team, so it would be okay if somebody took your personal pets and put them in a gestation crate like pigs are, as a commentary of the social conditions of globalization and the nature of the animal agriculture industry. Nope, I don't think so. What can I say, Scrappy? This world is complex, and you're being a little pugnacious right now. Whack! Oh, Mr. Furballs, social conditions, okay? Speaking of which, I've noticed a lot of meat-eating people, for example, getting mad about the dog part and completely ignoring or not caring about the pig part. It's a bit harder to care about the animal that you eat, and right there, that is the definition of carnism, but it's clear that these pigs were used in a disturbing way. The artists clearly exploited their sexual intercourse for their own message, and it's unclear what treatment was necessary to make that display happen. Something tells me that if it was pigs that cannot touch each other, people would have never pressured the Guggenheim to remove the exhibit. Now let's look to the words of an expert, a Northwestern art history professor named Stephen Eisenman, who according to the New York Times has written extensively about animal cruelty in art. He says, quote, "The works are cruel and support cruelty and give sanctions to animal abuse, and it's right that they should pull them." He also believes that they should apologize, but instead they just covered up what they've done by claiming that they did it on the grounds of security. So instead of admitting that they did the wrong thing by accepting the exhibit, they simply blame shift to the threats and talk about security. But there's another issue that I think is possibly the main reason they did it, and that is the press. How it is so bad for them right now that if you Google Guggenheim, it fills in dogs. But amazingly, much of the art community is actually appalled that they succumbed to pressure and removed the exhibit, removing such valuable art and hampering creative expression, putting the art in carnists. So in the end, this is not just displaying animal cruelty, this is displaying a video which fits the definition of illegal animal abuse in the state of New York. Furthermore, the reason that the artists used to justify this treatment is completely ridiculous, and the reason that the Guggenheim used to pull it is even more ridiculous. Freedom of expression in art does not include art that has a victim. All right, real quick, I will be at the San Diego Vegfest this weekend. I will be on the Future of Food panel, and I will also be hosting Crazy Vegan Jeopardy, the game show. It's set up so you buy a ticket for each engagement. If you use the code micthevegan, you get, I believe, a 10% discount. Also, I understand this can be a lot of tickets, so I figured I might as well buy a couple extra ones and give them to you. So feel free to message me on Instagram, say which event you want to go to, and I will randomly choose a couple of you. All right, that's it for today. Feel free to let me know down below what you think about the Guggenheim. Was it really security and all that jazz? All right, thanks for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe as well, and I will see you next time. Or at the San Diego Vegfest. Don't be shy.